Hello students, welcome to AriserTalent. As you know, we are talking about or we are studying about the transportation in humans. So in my previous lecture, I told you that transportation or circulation of blood in humans occurs by the two processes, blood vascular system and lymphatic system. So we have already studied about the blood vascular system. In this lecture, we are going to talk about lymphatic system. Lymphatic system. So if we talk about the lymphatic system, then lymphatic system is an open circulatory system. Okay, it is, we can say it is an open circulatory system. Open circulatory system. It consists of the following parts. It consists lymph, okay, lymph capillaries, lymph capillaries, lymph vessels, and lymph nodes. Okay, so first of all we will talk about the lymph. What is lymph? Actually lymph is a fluid. Okay, here as we talked about the blood vascular system, blood was a fluid. Okay, so here as we are talking about the lymphatic system, here the lymph is a light yellow mobile fluid. Okay, it's light yellow color. It is light yellow colored mobile fluid connective tissue. It is fluid connective tissue. Okay, so in the lymphatic system, the main fluid which is generally known as lymph, it is light yellow in color, it is mobile and it is fluid connective tissue. Generally it consists of two parts. Generally two things are present here in the lymph which are known as plasma. These are plasma and lymphatic cells. Lymphatic cells. Okay, so as when we talked about the blood, that time we studied the composition of blood. Now we are talking about the composition of lymph. We can say this is the composition of lymph. So lymph consists of plasma and lymphatic cells. So if we talk about the plasma first, so here the plasma of lymph is somewhat similar like the blood plasma. Okay, it is similar somewhat of blood plasma. Okay, and here in the lymph, this plasma contains protein molecules. It contains protein molecules, digested fat, okay, germs, etc. Okay, lymphatic cells are similar to the WBC which prevent the infection. Let me mention lymphatic cells. Lymphatic cells are similar to the WBC, or we can say they are special types of WBC which prevents from the infection. Next is lymphatic cells. Okay, so these are Special types of WBC means white blood cells. Okay, in the blood also white blood cells prevent the body from the infection. Same here in the lymph. These lymphatic cells, which are special type of white blood cells, they also help to prevent infection. These are special types of white blood cells which helps in or which helps to prevent infection. Okay, so we can say that lymph consists of two parts, plasma and lymphatic cells, and plasma is similar to the blood plasma, and generally it contains protein molecules, digested fat, germs, etc. Lymphatic cells are special types of WBC which helps to prevent the infection. This lymph is also known as extracellular fluid because it is present outside the cell. So, special point here we can mention that lymph is also known as extracellular fluid as it lies outside the cell. Okay, so it is all about the first part of lymphatic system, that is lymph. So lymph, what is lymph? It is the yellow color substance which is mobile in nature and it is special type of fluid connective tissue. It is a fluid connective tissue. Pay attention here that lymph is a fluid connective tissue. Okay, so it contains two parts, plasma and lymphatic cells. Plasma is somewhat similar to the blood plasma and it contains fat molecules or protein molecules and germs. And if we talk about the lymphatic cells, so these are the special types of WBC. They are in the blood. We studied about the WBC. They help in the prevention of infections. Same here in the lymph also, lymphatic cells which are special type of WBC, they helps to prevent the infection. Lymph is also known as the extracellular fluid because it is present outside the cell. Okay, now we will talk about the lymph capillaries. Actually, the lymph capillaries are the special pores. We can say they are the open pores through which the lymph or blood plasma filters out and flows into the body. Okay, or we can say flows into the intercellular spaces. So next is lymph capillaries. We studied about the lymph. Now we are going to talk about lymph capillaries. Next is lymph capillaries. So these are fine pores. These are fine pores through which blood plasma filters out. Okay, blood plasma filters out and flows into the intercellular spaces and flows in the intercellular spaces. Okay, so we talk about lymph. Lymph was a yellow substance which was mobile in nature and which is fluid connective tissue. Do you know generally it flows from tissues to the heart. Make a point that lymph flows from the tissue to the heart. Next was lymph capillary. So these are the fine pores through which blood plasma filters and then it flows into the intercellular spaces. Okay. Next is lymph vessels. lymph vessels. So generally these lymph vessels are formed by the joining of lymph capillaries. Clear? Lymph vessels are formed by the joining of lymph capillaries and they are larger in size. Not too larger, they are generally 2 to 3 millimeter in diameter. Okay, so lymph vessels are formed by the joining of lymph capillaries. Let me mention. These are formed by joining of lymph capillaries. Okay, next is lymph node. So what are these lymph nodes? Generally these lymph nodes occurs in the intervals in the lymphatic system. Okay, lymph nodes, so these occur or they occur at the interval or they occur at the course of, they occurs in the intervals, they occur in the intervals at the course of lymphatic vessels. Okay, so we studied that lymphatic vessels are formed by the joining lymph capillaries and lymph nodes generally occurs at the intervals, means between the two lymph vessels. So whatever the interval is there, so they occur in the interval at the course of lymphatic vessels. Okay, generally it contains lymphocyte. Okay, it contains lymphocytes, plasma cells and macrophages. Okay, so they contain lymphocytes, plasma cells and macrophages. These macrophages kill the microorganisms and cellular debris and foreign materials. These macrophages kills, or we can say remove, these macrophages remove the microorganisms, cellular debris and what they foreign material. Okay, so this is all about the lymphatic system. That lymphatic system is an open circulatory system. Okay, when we studied about the blood vascular system, then blood vascular system has a tubular system. Okay, but here lymphatic system is an open circulatory system which consists of lymph capillaries, lymph vessels and lymph nodes. Okay, lymph is a fluid connective tissue which is generally light yellow in color. Okay, and generally it flows from the tissue to the heart. Okay, and generally it contains what? It contains two part, plasma and lymphatic cells. Plasma is somewhat like the blood plasma and lymphatic cells are like to the special types of WBCs. Okay, now next part is lymph capillaries. So generally what are lymph capillaries? They are the fine pores. Okay, they are the fine pores through which the blood plasma filters out and flows into the intercellular spaces. Fine. Next is lymph vessels. So these lymph vessels are formed by the joining of lymph capillaries. Fine. When the lymph capillaries combines, they form new structure which is known as lymph vessels. Generally, they are they are long tubes. Okay, or we can say they are longer tubes. Fine. Lymph nodes, so they occur in the intervals of lymph vessels. They consist of or they contains lymphocytes and plasma cells and macrophage. These macrophages remove the foreign materials and microorganisms from the cell. Fine. So, this is all about the lymphatic system. Now, we will talk about the importance of lymphatic system or function of the lymphatic system. Okay, so now we are going to talk about functions of this lymphatic system. So, let me mention functions. Functions of lymphatic system. Okay, so we can say first function as we define is it protects the body by killing the germs. Here I told you in the lymph nodes macrophages are present which kill the foreign material. So, here we can say, and we studied that the lymphatic cells which are present in the lymph, they also act as the WBC and protect the body from the infections. So, here we can say that the lymphatic system protect the body by killing the germs. Okay. So, it protects the body by killing the germs. Okay. It carries carbon dioxide and nitrogenous materials from the body or we can say they help in the transportation of these things. So, let me mention it carries carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste material from lymph. Okay. It carries carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste material from tissues or nitrogenous waste material from tissues to blood. Okay, so that they can be removed out of the body. Next, it absorbs the fluid from the digestive tract also. Okay, lymph absorb some of the fluid from the digestive tract Okay, it passes proteins from circulation to the tissue. Okay, and we can say it also carries digested fat, which already I have told you. It also carries digested fat. When I told you about the lymph, that time I told you that plasma of lymph contains what? It contains protein molecules and digested fat. So, here we can say it also carries digested fat. Okay, so here we can say that lymph drains extra fluid. Okay, so lymph drains excess fluid from extracellular spaces. Okay, so lymph drains excess fluid from extracellular space or extracellular space into the blood. Okay, so these are the functions of lymphatic system. Lymphatic system means open circulatory system which consists of lymph capillaries, lymph vessels and lymph nodes. So each part of the lymphatic system has its own significance. Okay, now on the behalf of those significance, we can say that the functions of lymphatic systems are that it protects the body by killing the germs. Okay, as lymphatic cells are present, macrophages are present in the lymphatic nodes or lymph nodes. So they kills the germs and then they protect our body, or they protect the body from the germs. Fine. Next is it carries carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste material from the tissues to the blood. Blood transport the gases or material, and when I told you about the blood vascular system, that time also I told you that blood carries the nutrients to the different part, as well as it brings back carbon dioxide and waste material from the different parts, and then it passes it to the excretory organ. Fine. So here we can say that lymphatic system carries carbon dioxide and nitrogenous waste materials from tissues to the blood, so that the blood can send it to the excretory organ. Fine. Lymph absorbs some of the fluid from the digestive tract and it passes proteins from the circulation to the tissues. It also carries digestive fat, means digestive fat and protein molecules are present there in the lymph plasma. Lymph drains excess fluid from the extracellular space into the blood. Blood needs water or it needs fluid. So these lymph help to bring fluid from the extracellular spaces and then they forward it to the, or they supply it to the blood. So these are the functions of lymphatic system. So in this lecture we studied about the lymphatic system, means this is an open circulatory system which consists of what? It consists of lymph capillaries, lymph vessels and lymph nodes, and these are the functions of the lymphatic system. So hope everything is clear to you. Thank you.